So what I thought we'd do is start with some Motown. So I hope you guys are into Motown. If you're not into Motown, get hip. Motown, from a standpoint of like a technique thing for guitar players, I think is like bedrock. Those session players were great, man. They were great. And the way that they put together their rhythm parts is really catchy and hooky, and is an excellent example of what I'm talking about when I'm talking about staying out of people's way sonically. You know, playing something that's snappy, defined, clean, tight, pocketed. I think I would say catchy enough. You get the idea. It's all of that. It's also, though, if this is new ground for you in terms of like using your triad shapes all over the guitar, this is where you want to start. And I'll tell you why. So basically, if you listen to old Motown records, there was almost like a code as to how you played guitar on them from a rhythm standpoint. Obviously, this is not absolutely true. But oftentimes what you would do is you do this thing that I call a 2-4 chop, or 2 and 4 chop, which basically means you would play chords on the 2nd and 4th beat of the bar, and you would chop it, meaning you'd play staccato, okay? So I'm going to play along with some records, or at least I'm going to try to, and hopefully you guys can hear it okay. But basically, if we take an example like My Girl. So I'm sure that song is probably familiar to all of you. If it isn't, check it out. If you look at My Girl, there's 2 guitar parts going on in that verse. You have the iconic riff, and then alongside that you have the 2-4 chop, and this is true for so many Motown songs. But basically, the 2-4 chop, the chord progression is a C to F major. So in the key of C, 1 to 4, and you're going to play a 2 and 4, a chop on 2 and 4. So in other words, play a staccato shot using a triad on 2 and 4. So if we have a bar of C and then a bar of F, that's 2 strums per chord on beat 2 and 4, and then beat 2 and 4 the next chord. And so if it's C to F, maybe I grab this triad shape. So there's a C major, root position on the top 3 strings of the guitar, okay? And maybe I go up to this F, 2nd inversion. So in other words, it has the 5th in the bass, okay? 5th in the bass on the F chord. And so I'm going to play, imagine. Okay, so we have that going. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You could go up, C, F, root position, C, 1st inversion. You get the idea. If you wanted to be absolutist about this, or holistic, right? So that's C, F. So basically on the top 3 strings, and we'll get into this a little bit more specifically in a second, but basically what I'm doing as I exercise these ideas is I'm thinking in string sets. We need like convenient ways to organize our practice routines and the way that we conceptualize things. And so string sets is a really handy way of doing this.